Hi, welcome to Date with Death Club. I'm the Reverend Karen G. Johnston, the founder of Date with Death Club. And that sounds strange. Not that I'm the founder, but the name of this thing, Date with Death Club. Some might even say it sounds morbid. Maybe you're thinking that. But whether we want to be or not, aren't we all already members? Date with Death Club is not for everyone, even if the nature of mortality is that it impacts all of us. Date with Death Club is for folks who want to face mortality with less fear and more curiosity, less euphemism and more reality, less conformity and more creativity. It's an opportunity to explore mortality in community, in connection with others. Every session ends with a joke. Because even if mortality is serious, we can't take ourselves too seriously. New curriculum, a flexible curriculum, an adaptable curriculum, engaging curriculum, justice-affirming curriculum, community-building, piloted curriculum. What isn't Date with Death Club? Date with Death Club is not a space to persuade or debate others. Instead, it's a chance to deepen one's own sense of understanding, one's own discernment about your relationship with mortality, and learning from others along the way, offering your own learning, but not telling others what to do, not saving others or advising them. Date with Death Club is not a grief support group. Of course, there are participants in it who have experienced grief because we're human and we live on this earth. Some who might be going through active grief because grief always is with us once it comes to visit. But it isn't there to process that specifically. Date with Death Club is not a dogmatic curriculum, doesn't have a particular religious point of view. I'm a Unitarian Universalist ordained minister, so definitely there are pieces of that you can sense in it, but it's a secular curriculum written to be used in community settings such as senior centers, public libraries, as well as congregations that welcome an approach to talking about mortality that doesn't have a particular take on things such as what happens after we die or other dogmatic beliefs. Date with Death Club is a new curriculum that's available at no cost. It's a chance to grow literacy and emotional resilience around this thing that we cannot escape, mortality. Date with Death Club is a flexible curriculum. By the time it's released, mid-August 2022, it will have at least 14 sessions, and it's set up so that you can do nearly every session on its own or choose from which sessions fit your needs, your context needs. The sessions do tend to fall into two categories, a philosophical spiritual bent or an informational logistical bent. And it could be that in your setting you want to provide one set or another, but you really get to choose. They can be delivered on a weekly basis, that might be a little too often. They can be delivered on an every other week or a monthly basis. You can do them in a more intensive way, bringing two together to create a day-long workshop. You also can adapt each of the sessions to suit your setting better. The sessions are typically 2.25 hours or online 2.5 hours, which is long, but that allows for more breaks. But perhaps you would like to have a 90-minute session. That will be up to you to adapt to meet your needs, and that's fine. Sessions do not have to be delivered exactly as they are in the curriculum. It's flexible for you to choose if you are going to set it up and facilitate, and it's flexible for people who are participating, who can choose to come to just one, some, or all of what you offer. Certainly, the more a participant comes, the more they gain from it, and the more connected to a sense of community that can come from it. Date with Death Club is an engaging curriculum that includes small group work and reflective activities. It uses poetry and videos to help people connect to their direct experience. Every session is structured with an opening and a closing to create a safe container for the work that's done. There's an accountability check-in that helps us to reflect on how to center those who are typically on the margins. Every session ends with a joke. It might make you groan, but it's a great way to bring a session to a close. Date with Death Club is a justice-affirming curriculum. Content was developed with attention to the inclusion of those perspectives that have typically been marginalized, pays attention to how inequity impacts our lives when it comes to mortality, when it comes to death and dying. And as a part of each formatted closing, there's a section for group reflection called Margin Center, which brings those typically marginalized to the center and asks us to pay attention. How well did we do with our inclusivity? Date with Death Club is a community building curriculum. So there's a chance not only to convey content, but to create connection. In fact, one of the pilot sites, a Unitarian Universalist congregation, reported that 2 people attended who were not members of the congregation but became members of the congregation because of their experience with Date with Death Club. It's a powerful way to engage folks on a topic that there isn't a lot of societal space for, talking about mortality. Date with Death Club is a piloted curriculum. I wrote it in the spring of 2021, and in this past congregational year, 21-22, it was piloted by 6 Unitarian Universalist congregations and 1 public library.
Hello, I'm the Rev Claire Petersburger, serving the Towson Unitarian Universalist Church in Lutherville, Maryland, and we highly recommend a Date with Death Club. Over 20 of our members and friends engaged in 6 philosophical sessions. Please know that each session comes with helpful guidance and resources for the facilitator. Hope you will join a Date with Death Club and have a similarly thoughtful and transformative experience. So may it be.
This summer, 2022, it's being revised, will be re-released, free to the public, by, I'm anticipating, mid-August. As I said, it will be available at no cost. Go to the website, datewithdeathclub.com, and send a message, and I'll put you on the list to keep you up to date with what is happening with regards to releasing the revised curriculum. One of the requirements for leading a Date with Death Club in your community is that in my providing this curriculum to you at no cost means that you need to provide it in the community without requiring a participant fee. There should be no barrier for anyone to be able to access the exploration of mortality and community, at least through Date with Death Club. I ask that you offer Date with Death Club either for free or a small optional donation.
I value breakout sessions where you get to see, feel, and relate to the humanity in each person. Video selections were excellent. I like discussing different poems about death and dying. I appreciated reflecting on what constitutes a good life and a good death.
Now, you might be wondering, do you have to be a religious professional to lead a Date with Death Club? No, it's a secular curriculum. It does help if you have a source of knowledge or expertise both in facilitating groups and about death education. But this is available to anyone who would like to run it. It's written in a way that you will still likely have to do some research, but a lot of it is provided for you. That said, I will be doing at the end of August a free orientation for folks who have questions about the curriculum, are interested but aren't sure yet that they want to do it, or for folks who've already committed and plan to do it. So that will be online. Information will be sent out to anybody who's expressed interest in Date with Death Club. We also have a mascot. Here's our mascot. It's a meditating skeleton. On the Date with Death Club Facebook page, you'll sometimes see images of our mascot or some of our mascot's friends. They're very amenable to showing up in the strangest places. The fact of the reality of mortality in a way that allows us to set our fears, maybe not away, but maybe next to us instead of here, deep in our heart, constricting. Just saying, okay, fear or aversion, whatever it is, I can learn about mortality and this reality that meets all of us, especially if I can do it with other folks in a safe place. So I hope you'll find out more about Date with Death Club.